In the long history of unsolved mysteries in the United States, few cases remain as haunting and controversial as the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. More than 4 decades later, the question still echoes across America: what really happened to Jimmy Hoffa? This is not merely a missing persons case. It is a story deeply rooted in American organized crime, labor union corruption, and the silent power of the Italian-American mafia. Despite countless investigations, books, and documentaries, the Jimmy Hoffa mystery remains officially unsolved. This detailed examination is presented by Dark Files USA, where documented history meets unanswered questions. James Riddle Hoffa, widely known as Jimmy Hoffa, was one of the most powerful labor leaders in American history. As president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, Hoffa controlled a union representing millions of truck drivers, warehouse workers, and laborers across the United States. During the mid-20th century, the Teamsters Union was not just a labor organization. It was an economic force capable of influencing national supply chains. With this power came enormous financial resources, including the famous Teamsters Pension Fund, which later became central to allegations of mob influence. Federal authorities long suspected that Hoffa maintained close ties with organized crime families, allowing mafia figures to use union funds for casinos, real estate, and illegal enterprises. Hoffa's growing influence drew intense attention from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the U.S. Department of Justice. No one pursued Hoffa more aggressively than Robert F. Kennedy, who viewed him as a symbol of union corruption in America. After years of surveillance, wiretaps, and courtroom battles, Hoffa was convicted in 1964 for jury tampering and fraud. He was sentenced to 13 years in federal prison, marking a major victory for federal prosecutors. For many Americans, this seemed like the end of Jimmy Hoffa's story. It was only the beginning. In 1971, President Richard Nixon commuted Hoffa's prison sentence. Hoffa was released, but with a critical restriction. He was barred from holding any leadership role in the Teamsters Union until 1980. Hoffa publicly agreed to the condition, but privately, he remained determined to reclaim power. His return threatened both the new Teamsters leadership and the mafia-controlled labor structure that had flourished during his absence. According to investigators, Hoffa became increasingly vocal, unpredictable, and dangerous to those who had replaced him. On the afternoon of July 30th, 1975, Jimmy Hoffa left his home near Detroit, Michigan, telling his wife he was meeting associates for lunch at the Macus Red Fox restaurant in Bloomfield Township. The meeting allegedly involved individuals connected to Detroit, organized crime. Witnesses later reported seeing Hoffa pacing nervously in the parking lot. He appeared frustrated. He was overheard saying that the people he was waiting for had not shown up. Then, sometime after 2:30 p.m., Jimmy Hoffa disappeared. No signs of a struggle were found. No witnesses reported violence. He was never seen again. Later that day, Hoffa's car was discovered in the restaurant parking lot. The doors were unlocked. The interior showed no evidence of foul play. There was no blood, no weapon, no clues. This lack of evidence turned the Jimmy Hoffa disappearance into one of the most baffling unsolved crime cases in U.S. history. Hoffa's vanishing triggered one of the most extensive investigations ever conducted. The FBI, Michigan State Police, and federal agencies launched massive search operations. Fields were excavated. Warehouses were searched. Lakes and landfills were examined. Despite decades of investigation, no body has ever been recovered. The dominant explanation remains the mafia involvement theory. Investigators believe Hoffa was lured into a vehicle by people he trusted, likely intermediaries with ties to La Cosa Nostra. According to this theory, Hoffa was murdered shortly after leaving the restaurant. What happened next remains unclear. Some claim his body was cremated. Others believe he was buried in a remote location. Each version ends the same way. No physical evidence. The mafia is built on silence. Fear, loyalty, and time ensure secrets remain buried. Many individuals connected to the case have since died. Others have refused to speak. Alleged deathbed confessions have never been verified. The Jimmy Hoffa murder mystery may be one of the most successful cover-ups in American criminal history. The disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa became a permanent fixture in American crime folklore. Books, films, and documentaries continue to revisit the case. What makes this mystery endure is not speculation, but certainty. Someone knows the truth. The silence is intentional. The Jimmy Hoffa disappearance remains officially unsolved. No remains, no convictions, no confirmed explanation. It stands as a reminder of a time when organized crime, political power, and labor unions intersected beyond the reach of justice. Some mysteries fade with time. This one does not. This has been a documented exploration of one of America's most enduring crime enigmas, presented by Dark Files USA, where history's darkest questions continue to surface.